So before we end, I want to tell you one more story. And I'll be brief, because I know you've been sitting for a long time. But I want to introduce to you Mahala Ashley Dickerson. Mahala was introduced to Quakers in Florida Avenue meeting in Washington. When she went into that meeting house and sat down and worshiped, she expressed how thankful she was for the opportunity to worship in silence, how much it warmed her heart and how important it was. As did Sarah Mapps Douglas a century before her. So Mahala was an African-American attorney. She was the first female attorney in the state of Alabama, which is where she was born. She practiced law in Indiana. There, she was the second African-American attorney to be admitted to the bar there in Indiana. When she moved to Indiana, because of the experiences she'd had in Washington, D.C., she decided to go to worship there. She attended First Friends meeting with her 3 sons, who were triplets. One day, the pastor, and I should say in Indiana, the Quaker meetings there are different than the Quaker meetings here. They have pastors, a choir, and a program, and a period of silent worship, but they don't have the full hour of silent worship that we do here in the Philadelphia area. So the pastor came and invited her to join the church with her sons. So this was 1952. She filled out the application. But when some members of the meeting heard that she had applied for membership, they were very upset. They felt that because they had recently moved into a nice neighborhood, that her membership would reduce the value of the real estate, would encourage more African Americans to flock, quote unquote, to the neighborhood. Mahala didn't expect that her application, her children's applications, would create such a stir in 1952. So she actually contemplated taking her applications back. But several white friends, who were close friends of hers, asked her not to do that. That they saw this as an opportunity to be able to use their Quakerism in a positive way, to struggle with the friends there in their meeting who were against her membership. Well, what ended up happening was those friends started a new meeting, and Mahala moved to Wasilla, Alaska, where she homesteaded. And there in Wasilla, She actually gave a portion of her property to the yearly meeting, where they continue to meet to this day. Unfortunately, Mahala ended up having another unpleasant experience with friends in her home, actually, in Wasilla, who she had a pool on her property and invited Quakers to come over and swim in the pool. And she overheard some friends having a conversation about her that was painful for her, that upset her, and that she felt was racist. So she asked them to leave and stopped attending yearly meeting. Several years before she died, she had a visit from, actually, it was a Quaker youth leader brought some youth from Philadelphia yearly meeting to Alaska. And the Quaker leader knew about what the incident and Mahala's pain and talked with her. And planted some seeds, because in fact Mahala did go back to yearly meeting shortly after that. So friends, tonight we've just given you a taste of what's in Fit for Freedom, Not for Friendship, Quakers, African Americans, and the Myth of Racial Justice. Thank you. Thank you very much. And before we break, Bruce very nicely thanked many people who've been involved, who were working with FGC for working on this book. And there's one person who he didn't mention that's important to me to mention, who worked for 2 years on this book, and that's Angelina Conti. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And please join us in the adjacent room. We have refreshments, and Donna and Vanessa might just sign your copy of the book. Thank you. Good night.